I'm Ashura, and welcome to the third and final part in my playthrough of the main Hallowfall campaign, Hope in Solidarity. So a quick recap of the Hallowfall story so far. We met Faerin, who actually turned out to be Faerin Lothar, a very distant relative of Anduin Lothar, a hero of the Second War, and a knight that Anduin was actually named after. She's a lamplighter, so part of her responsibility is going around to each of the Dawntowers and making sure they're lit. When the Beledar crystal shifts into the void phase, a whole bunch of shadow void beings come out, and having the Dawntowers lit helps protect the Arathi and keep them prepared for the, quote, shadow curfew. We go with her on her route. We put an end to the kobyss incursion in a nearby town. We make sure the Dawntowers are lit, and then when we get here, stumble across a Dawntower that is not only not lit, but has been corrupted by the Void, and we discover this cultist order called the Order of Night, which believes that the Beledar crystal shifting into Void is a clear sign that they should worship the Void. We managed to restore the Dawntower here, but the pressing question of the Order of Night remains. We have to figure out exactly what's going on with them and put an end to the havoc that they're wreaking, because they're putting everyone in danger. So let's get into it.
A lamplighter brings hope. In my heart, there is fire.
We must get to Merildar and let General Steelstrike know what the Order of Night tried here. Thank the Holy Flame we stopped them before they could do any worse.
If you are lost in darkness...
We need to return to Merildar. I need to let the General know what happened here. This Order of Night is no mere cult. The Harbinger they speak of is Zelatath. She won't stop. Your people need to be ready. Anduin looks lost in thought. Small fun fact, but I think this is a really cool bit of lore. Merildar, the Arathi capital city here, is actually named for an old lore figure. I've talked twice now about how Thoradin was the king who founded the Arathor Empire, and he had a couple lieutenants. He had Igneous and Lordain. And Lordain was the lieutenant that Lordaeron was eventually named after, but Lordain had a sister named Merildar. And of all the humans, she was the first one to make contact with the Naru and basically write down and encode their teachings, and then that bloomed into the Church of the Holy Light. That bloomed into the holy religion that the humans worship. So I thought it was just such a cool touch that, like, they have a whole city here named after Merildar, like basically the person who started their religious movement. Alright. Aelric corrupted the Dawntower's flame. Ashes, take that man and this Harbinger. You've done us a great service. I've put the army on high alert for Aelric. If he moves, we'll know about it. For now, though, I think you deserve a break.
For the Alliance, above all.
This city is breathtaking. To see what the Arathi have built here in such a short time is incredible. To think, while this was happening, we were fighting the Legion, and the Fourth War, and then... well, it's quite the sight.
A king is only as noble as the causes he serves.
I sense Zelatath's hand in this dark flame. We may have slowed her down, but she has plans within plans. We need to be on the lookout for her next move.
Farewell.
Finally, a chance to rest.
We carry the flame into the unknown.
Merildar, I've been wanting to bring you here since we first met, but, well, it's been one thing after another, as you know. The walls keep people safe. Of anywhere in Hallowfall, this feels the most relaxed. You can unwind, even if just for a brief time.
Be strong, my friend.
I have to admit, I did not think that the first visitors we'd have in Merildar would have been outsiders. I thought the Empire... well, never mind. You have been more than helpful to my people, and that deserves recognition. Beledar is the bastion of the Arathi in Hallowfall. Take some time. Rest. We should grab some food at the inn while we can. One of the general's rules I happily follow. Anduin looks meaningfully at Illyria. Perhaps a moment's rest is warranted? General Steelstrike glances toward the tower you just came from, rubs her chin, and frowns toward the ground. Can you order a round of drinks?
It is a good day for a hunt.
You see Illyria scanning the people entering and exiting the inn. Any one of them could be an Order of Knight member. Any one of them could have the information I need. How are you doing? You think this is the first time I've lost friends? I've lived a long time. In the 1,000 Years' War, I saw planets burn. I lost my brother to the Orcish Horde in the Second War. I lost my sister to herself. Turalian and Erator, I haven't spent as much time with as I would like. Dalaran isn't the first time I've lost people. Dalaran wasn't your fault. It was my job to stop her. Not only did I fail, but I failed so catastrophically that a city was destroyed. I may not have caused Dalaran's destruction, but it happened because of me. We're here for you if you need us.
The shadows can be an ally.
At some point, you'll have to try our imperial wine. It's made with grapes from the priory and is heated with the sacred flame. We only drink it on special occasions, so just drinking it is enough to conjure thoughts of good times. What can you tell me of the Arathi Empire? I was young when we left, but I have some memories. I remember the parades through the city streets. Everyone would be out and cheering as the army walked by. I remember the lynxes in ceremonial armor, resplendent and regal. I remember the park near where I used to live. My parents would take me for walks there, and we'd feed the animals. Most of all, though, I remember the feeling of belonging. I remember my family. I remember my friends.
Despite everything, the Arathi find joy.
Greetings, friend.
Anduin looks lost in thought as he stares at his drink. What are your thoughts on the Arathi? Honestly, I'm still reeling. I didn't expect to find that there's an entire empire across the sea when I started on this journey. The Arathi Empire of our world collapsed so long ago, and has dwindled down to the smallest remnant now. To find that the empire continued to flourish across the sea. But still, we are dealing with such a small portion of the Arathi. Are they normally this friendly? Or do we need to be worried? What's on your mind? Anduin looks over to you. You've been so helpful down here, as always. How do you do it? Ever since the Shadowlands, I'm struggling. That wasn't you. It felt like me. I remember the rage. I remember the hate. I remember the exhilaration, satisfaction even. Were they my emotions or his? I don't know, but I felt them. In my nightmares, I still feel them. Anduin sighs. Maybe Faerin's right. Maybe I need to let it go. But I never understood how. How can one just decide one day to feel better about everything? Maybe it just means to keep moving forward.
Never lose hope.
You aren't sure what sort of drinks the Arathi have, but you could swear you saw a piece of mushroom float to the surface. The cats are trained as well as the soldiers are. When one bonds to you, you have a friend for life. Do you have a lynx? Oh, no, no. I'm not a cat person.
When shadow falls, lamplighters rise.
This city has much to see.
A beacon in the dark.
It's been good to sit down and breathe for a bit.
Don't give in to fear.
What news?
Xelatath is using the Order of Night to serve her whims. I overheard some of the Arathi complaining about a new wave of propaganda that has been put up around Beledar. Find what you can, and deliver it to General Steelstrike. I'll be there as soon as I can. We need to convince her of the severity of this threat.
Aim true.
Anduin, we need to talk. Of course. I need to see Rain about my prosthetics anyway. Let's meet later.
Greetings.
Illyria and Anduin are standing on the wall looking at Beledar, the large crystal in the sky. I wish you'd heeded my warning and stayed in Dornegal. She is here, Anduin. The Arathi are in danger. We are in danger.
I needed to see if there were really descendants of the Arathi down here. I'm the King of Stormwind. So many human kingdoms have fallen. I needed to know if there were others.
It was still a foolish risk.
You're not the only one grappling with the voices in their head!
What have you been hearing?
Beledar, the Emperor's vision. That prophecy that drew them here. It's the radiant song I'm hearing.
You've been hearing this star?
Yes. No, not really. When I saw Beledar for the first time, I had the vision again. It's related somehow. I wish Khadgar were here. He'd know what it all meant. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
No, you're right. I wish you were here as well. We'll have to find our own answers.
I've gotten a look at the crystals and their key flames. It's not azurite, but it's close enough that I think they're connected.
And you realized when Beledar shifted for the first time?
Their day of darkness. The same day Sargeras plunged that sword into Azeroth.
This was such a huge lore reveal! So my first theory about Beledar is that it was a Naru ship. It sounds and looks like a Naru ship. I mean, Beledar sounds like Genedar, Zenedar, Exedar, etc. Not to say anything about how it shifts between light state and a void state, exactly like Naru do. The fact that it very aesthetically sort of looks like a Naru crystal, it reminds me distinctly of the way that Oshugun looks in Nagrand, but also the runes on it are definitely very evocative of Naru runes. I imagined that it was maybe a Naru ship that had crashed here some millennia ago or something, the same way and that the Void Lords send out old gods into the cosmos to latch onto planets and corrupt them, that perhaps the light was doing the same thing, because we do know from Illyria's thousands of year war story that the light sort of does the same thing, that they do light order planets. So maybe this was their version of that both the old gods and the light had found Azeroth. But after this dialogue, I wasn't sure if I was quite sold on that theory, and it could still be true. But the things that Anduin and Illyria were talking about here also got me thinking, what if it's not a Naru ship at all? What if it's actually part of Azeroth? Anduin says the crystals and the keyflames are similar to azurite, but different. And then he also says that the prophecy, the vision that drew them here was the same thing as the Radiant Song he'd been hearing, and we've all been attributing the Radiant Song to Azeroth. And on top of that, the fact that the singular first day that this crystal shifted into its void state was the same day that Sargeras plunged his sword into Azeroth, which would have weakened her. And it got me thinking, what if it weakened her so severely that she is succumbing to void corruption, either something latent from the old gods or more directly from Xelatath, who may be trying to pick up where the old gods failed and actually corrupt Azeroth once and for all. Beledar is not the tip of the sword that Sargeras plunged into Azeroth. We know that for a fact. In part because it's confirmed in this dialogue, because the crystal was clearly here long before it ever shifted into a void state. But it is close enough to Silithis that a lot of people were wondering it. But it got me thinking, the Chamber of the Hearts in Silithis, if we're sort of close to that, could this be like Azeroth's heart or close to her heart? It's a theory. I think a lot of people still generally believe that it is a Naru ship of some sort. But it just got me thinking. Just a little bit of speculation.
We owe our service to those in need.
Meet Rain, our head armorer. She leads the team whose inventions have saved many lives since we landed in Hallowfall. Rain herself forged my shield. I always enjoy coming here and seeing what new things our team has thought of.
Be strong, my friend.
Faerin tells me you've been keeping her safe. Thank you. Though she doesn't know it, many look to her for her positivity. Her light acts as a beacon for others to follow. Her loss would affect us all.
My faith kindles my hope.
Faerin, I was inspired last Beledar's shadow. I designed a new arm prosthetic. I think you'll wear this one.
Thank you, Rain. But the shield you made me is all I need. I'm sure your talents would be better spent on other inventions.
It's my pleasure to make a new arm you could use, Faerin. You told me about the discomfort and how it impacted your mobility, so I was thinking...
Rain? No. I have lived with my injury since I was a child. I've learned to do everything from sword fighting to dressing myself with one hand.
But what if I figured out the weight balancing? You said that was what you didn't like about the first few I made.
Then I think some of our veterans who will lose an arm to the nerubians will be very grateful that you've improved the design. Rain, I've learned to navigate my life without a prosthetic. I don't want to relearn everything, but if you want to improve something of mine, a better shock absorber on the shield would be a blessing of the flame. Those nerubians are getting bigger, and it puts all that weight on the shoulder.
Oh yeah? That's a tough one. Let me sketch out some ideas and get some measurements. I think that'll be an interesting project.
Keep up your work. Everyone on the front line appreciates the new kit upgrades. We carry the flame into the unknown.
Scrollings of the Order of Night. You see mentions of the Harbinger. Arathi, your leaders lie to you. They sell you false hope. They say the light is the way, the light is your salvation. Look at the state of Hallowfall. If that were true, would Beledar be turning to the void? Would the nerubians be attacking? The Order of Night has seen the truth. The light is not the way. Open yourself to the void. Embrace the Harbinger, and through her we will remake Hallowfall. Steelstrike and her cronies teach you to be afraid of the dark. The dark is not your enemy. The dark is your friend. Embrace it. Give yourself into it fully, and it will protect you. The Harbinger has come. Embrace her protection before it is too late. Death comes to Hallowfall. The Harbinger will protect you. Prostrate yourself before her and beg her protection. Only she can save us. Only through her can the Arathi people flourish. Prostrate yourself before it is too late. Meet Aurelia, her quartermaster. I'm also proud to call her my daughter. Every time we rotate our reserves through, I make sure to learn their names. Many of them won't be coming back. At least I can do is remember them. Why is your daughter the quartermaster? You suspect nepotism. Understandable. You haven't been here for long. My daughter is, without a doubt, the backbone of the Arathi army. I lead it, but she ensures it actually runs. She is a gift for organization that we desperately need. I've tried to rotate her onto the front lines as part of our reserve rotation, as is only fair. I was overruled by the Priory every time. Anything I can help you with? General Steelstrike reads through the propaganda you brought her. I need to know more about this Xalatath. Your skills in combat are impressive. We are rotating our next round of reserves into active duty, and they need to sharpen their skills. While Illyria fills me in on Xalatath, I would appreciate if you could help with their training. Aurelia, send a runner to Faerin's new elf friend. We need to talk. Faerin tells me your friend wields the void. I'm either going to regret meeting her, or thank the flame. The Harbinger is from the Black Empire? Flames. One of the old gods. No. Something else. A survivor from the depths of time. Thank you. What they learned from you will no doubt save their lives later.
Walk with me for a bit, outsider. I assume Faerin has told you of how we came to this strange land. The Emperor's vision. A prophecy of light, battle, and victory. For the Arathi and the Sacred Flame. I was newly raised to my position. Being entrusted to seek out an Imperial prophecy was a great honor. Our armada braved the storming sea and its impassable tempest. I thought that final storm was sure to scuttle every airship. Instead, there was a radiant flash. The Emperor's vision, exactly as he had foreseen. The light transported us beneath the surface of Azeroth. But still under the light of this star we named Beledar. So many died as the Armada crashed into the cliffs. We thought the eternal flame of Erethdor snuffed out that day. Then, as we labored to rescue this stowaway child, Faerin, we discovered that she had preserved embers of the flame, at risk to her own life. Brave fool. Yet I'm eternally grateful that she held on to that symbol of hope. Don't tell her I said that.
Years later, there was a great rumble. We thought the cavern was going to collapse. It was the day of darkness. The first time Beledar shifted to shadow.
We had put down roots by then. My soldiers left to make homes for themselves. They started families. Flames, help me. There are children now.
I've had too many years of defending against the monsters that go bump in the night. Great Chiron and their lamplighters guided us through the darkness.
But like Faerin, they mistake saving for safeguarding. My people are brave and strong, but they are not all flame-blessed heroes. I know exactly how many soldiers we lose to the dark. If we play it safe, we might survive long enough for me to put my grandchildren on the front line. I welcome you, outsider. I hope your people's arrival and the Earthen's reunification means better days for Mereldar. But I fear we have just made ourselves a bigger target for the dark.
I still need more time with Illyria to learn about Xalatath. What I have learned is very worrying. Faerin sent word that she was going to the orphanage and asked you to meet her there. She often entertains the children while she's in Mereldar. I don't doubt she would appreciate you doing the same. Faerin's at the orphanage. She was the first child to call it home. She visits whenever she can.
I will see you through the shadow.
Welcome to our orphanage. When we arrived 10 years ago, I was the only child. They founded this for me. I'm not quite sure how Siegfried put up with me. I was quite rambunctious. I love coming here when I'm in town. Despite everything, the kids are so bright and happy. They are our future, and we fight for them.
A beacon in the dark.
I love coming here whenever I visit Mereldar. The kids always bring a smile to my face, and I hope I do to them as well. After everything they've been through, they deserve happiness.
If you are lost in dark...
That's the warning bells of the main gate.
Children, inside!
We cannot hide from evil.
Those bells mean Beledar is under attack. Let's get to the gates and find out what is going on.
In my heart,
Beledar is under attack. Children, stay inside. The kobyss strike our veneration grounds during Beledar's light. How? Look, General. Darkfire. This is Aelric's doing.
Sometimes we must fight for what we believe in.
After what the kobyss did at the beach. We need to save anyone we can. We can't let them take more Arathi.
Safe journey to you.
Light of the Flame. The kobyss have never attacked in such numbers before. We need to push them back, and we need to stop whatever it is they are doing to the Eternal Flame.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
I can feel void emanations from ahead. Powerful ones. This can only be Xalatath's work. Be ready.
Keep your gaze fixed on your target.
Aelric is behind this. I know it. I can feel it. Whatever his plan is, we need to stop it.
Despite everything, the Arathi find joy.
We will make them pay for this. We will hit them so hard they never come back.
Don't give in to fear.
I can sense 3 beacons of void ahead, all funneling their power into one massive font of darkness. You will need to kill them. With them dead, I can bring down the shield.
The shadows can be an ally, if controlled.
We need to take the veneration grounds back from the kobyss. Push them back and pave a bloody path through them. We need to stop whatever is happening at the Eternal Flame. If they manage to corrupt it like they did at the tower, I don't even want to imagine what will happen.
Arathi, push back the kobyss. Make them regret ever stepping onto our hallowed lands.
Aelric's ritual is the source of this darkness. We need to break through this barrier. He draws strength from the darkness. So do I. The Arathi have been through so much. We must do what we can. This is when they need our help the most.
Never lose hope.
Aelric. He's dogged our steps for too long. Now we have him cornered. Now we can take him down. I've waited too long for this moment.
There is fire.
We've lost the Eternal Flame. Light of the Empire. We've lost everything. Now we just need to deal with the shield.
What news?
Excellent. Now to break through this
Aim
shield.
true.
This odious man. He reminds me of Darkhandra Thyr. Let us hope he stays dead. Such an old reference. Darkhan was the guy who basically betrayed the entirety of the High Elves to Arthas and opened the way for him to get through the gates to the Sunwell. Beledar has turned to shadow. We must retreat back to Beledar. Valycia looks towards Aelric lead. No. We need to destroy Aelric first. Take him down, then we retreat.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
Aelric thinks the shadows will save him. He should see what true power looks like. Illyria, be careful. We are well past that. Now, go for the kill!
The Harbinger spoke of you. She has taken an interest in you. Harbinger! Do not forsake me!
Faerin's rallying speech. Beledar remains in shadow. Steel Strike tells the Arathi to fall back. Faerin says no. The Arathi should bring their light into the darkness. She leads Steelstrike and the Arathi in the Lamplighter ritual. They turn the eternal flame back to the light. Beledar shifts back to the light. The Arathi are safe. I wanted to wait to mention it until we actually saw it. So, the Arathi obviously come from human lore. Like, the Arathi was an empire in human lore, but we also learned from this zone that there were high elves who left with the Arathi to go to their kingdom across the sea. That's sort of why they have lynxes, why they're half-elves, and the elements of like high elf culture and the influence of it, I should say, are pretty subtle throughout this zone. But when I saw this, the Eternal Flame, I was like, oh, you know what? This is giving me distinct Sunwell vibes. And it sort of made me think, because we don't really know where this came from, just that when Faerin stowed away on the airships to Hallowfall, that she ended up saving whatever remained of it so that they could plant it, establish it here. I'm wondering if it's from the Sunwell? Sort of how, like, Illidan took 7 vials from the original Well of Eternity and then was able to make the second Well of Eternity. There is technically 1 unaccounted vial, and it was those vials that made the Sunwell in the first place. So I couldn't help but wonder if this was either from the Sunwell proper itself, or maybe that unaccounted for vial. But I have to say, someone did point out to me that the Sunwell and the Well of Eternity both were arcane fonts. They're not like holy light, which this reminds me of the Sunwell, but this reminds me of the Sunwell as it is after the Burning Crusade, when Mu'uru's heart, if I recall correctly, was put in it, and it sort of became both holy and arcane. Whatever, if they had taken the Eternal Flame from the Sunwell, it probably wouldn't look like this. It would be more arcane in nature. So I just find myself wondering where this came from. But I sort of like how it is evocative of the high elf influence here, shall we say.
It is a good day for a hunt.
The shadow always tries to corrupt. It only works on the weak-willed.
The shadows can be an ally, if controlled.
By the flame. That was close. I'm glad it worked. I mean, of course it worked. I knew it would. Don't tell the general I said that.
Don't give in to fear.
I'll talk to Anduin first.
Sometimes we must fight for what we believe in.
By the light. That was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. The closest was Kalia's resurrection, but that... So many people. One purpose, one unity, one hope.
A king is only as noble as the causes he serves.
May the light bless Faerin. I thought the Eternal Flame lost. I thought this was the end of hope, and the death of our people. Our veneration grounds have been desecrated, its beauty marred. It's going to take bigger effort, but while you're checking in with the people, I would appreciate anything you can do to clean up our grounds.
A lamplighter brings hope.
That was too close. This attack took a toll on all of us. We have many injured and many shaken. Can you check in with people? See how they're doing?
Carry the flame into the unknown.
We each walk a line. Choose yours.
Illyria, what happened?
For years I've held back the void within me, worried it'll hurt my loved ones. When Dalaran fell, I didn't draw on my power. Someone dear to me paid the price. I'm assuming she means Khadgar. Like Aelric, Xalata thinks herself safe behind layers of shadow. She isn't. Not when I can turn their own power against her. I will do all it takes to end her threat for good. Aelric drove a wedge through the heart of the Arathi people. We will root out his followers, his cult. We will burn it to the ground. I will undo everything he has done. How are you doing? When I saw the depths of Aelric's betrayal, I lost hope. I retreated. Flames. The kobyss would have taken Mereldar. I haven't really brought it up yet, but I get the kobyss are void adjacent. I don't know to what extent. There's like a side quest here that I haven't managed to do where there's sort of a talking fish, and also the fact that before this and the quest leading up to this, Steelstrike says that the kobyss only attack during the void phase of Beledar, which makes me think that there's something about the light phase of it that keeps them from attacking, like that they're maybe stronger in the void phase. We'll come back to that eventually.
Be vigilant.
What Faerin said, it got me thinking. Perhaps I've been wrong about what the light wants from me. Arathi, friends, the flame blesses us with victory. Your courage against the dark has saved the day.
A king is only as noble as the causes he serves.
Thank you. It may not have seemed like much, but this is one of our most sacred places. We remember our dead here. We have a lot to remember. The Arathi spirit can never be broken. General, the Nerubians! They've opened a new front at Light's Redoubt. Just before the kobyss attacked, we received word of a disturbance near Livia's patients. Now we know the cause. Light. We can't survive fighting on two fronts. We have to stop this now.
Flames! Arathi, mount up! Light's Redoubt calls for help! We bring hope into the darkness!
Livia's patience is overrun. We must find the villagers' time before the reckoning can launch.
What news?
I feel her. Xalatath is behind this. I can feel her desperation behind this push. I must resume my hunt after we help these people.
We do what we must for those we love.
The Arathi have been knocked back once again. It's up to us to help them stand firm. We need to do what we can to hold back this tide.
Be vigilant.
Livia's patience. So many people. By the flame, I was here only a few days ago. We have to help them.
If you are lost in darkness, we are here to help.
The populace of Livia's patients is being abducted. The lamplighters are helping, but there are too many nerubians. We have to stop this here. Flames. We cannot survive if this is not stopped. At least here we can use the power of our airships. The Reckoning's guns will turn this tide. We just need the time to get it ready. Flames, they tunneled up through the lake bed. Livia's patience has already fallen. We need time to get the Reckoning ready. Take your friends and hold back the nerubians for as long as you can. They deserve nothing but death for what they've done to our people.
We are a light in the darkness.
We have to try to save any of our people left alive in Livia's patience. Every Arathi is or was a member of the military. If you can help them, they'll be able to help themselves.
Strong.
Stalwarts, we are the wall today. Together we will stand against the darkness. We need to evacuate the villagers before the Reckoning's bombardment. Quickly, before the Nerubians overwhelm us.
Storm and will endure. Greetings, friend.
We must keep the light of the Arathi alive at any cost. These Nerubians keep coming. Normally I would be grateful for my enemies to throw themselves at me in such a blatant manner, but they keep us from my true quarry.
Keep your gaze fixed on your target.
Good job. I'm surprised the Nerubians aren't fleeing already.
Despite everything, the Arathi
Thank you.
find joy.
Between myself, Illyria, Anduin, and you, I think we managed to save quite a few. The Nerubians abducted many of the rest. We need to help
A
them.
beacon in the dark.
The Reckoning is ready. Let's make these spiders pay. Blood
Despite
for blood.
everything, the Arathi find joy.
Anduin is lost. Faerin, Illyria, and player climb the ladder to the ship only to see Anduin has been left behind. Anduin sees the Nerubians preparing a ballista that would take out the airship. He finds his resolve and jumps into the fray to stop them. Faerin, Illyria, and player watch in horror as Anduin is enveloped by the horde of Nerubians. This didn't occur to me when I first saw it, because this is just a description. Curse them all, where did they take him? Do you see Anduin? They dragged him down, I lost track of him. Ash, we can't let them reach Beledar. Blast them apart. But it's a very clear parallel to Faerin's cinematic at the Broken Shore, where he like jumps off the airship and fights the forces there, and then gets captured. Things obviously don't end well for Faerin, and I hope that they're not going to end that poorly for Anduin. I don't think they will. But I like how I think it's just cool thinking about the parallels. We've beaten them back. Let's get Anduin. We don't know what's down there. Reinforcements are on the way. We could wait. We'll lose his trail. You're right. Airship tangled up. The airship descends into Aj-Kahet. The airship gets caught in the Nerubian webs, coming to an abrupt halt and immediately beset by Nerubian forces. Illyria and Faerin fight off the Nerubians, but the lead Nerubian boards the deck, readying an attack on Illyria. Suddenly, a vine/root whips out, sending the Nerubian flying. Illyria whips her head around to see Orwena off to the side, helping defend the ship.
When shadow falls, lamplighters rise.
What fools
Be
we are.
strong, my friend.
And that's the third storyline. That's the end of the main Hallowfall story. Obviously, the rest takes us into Aj-Kahet, and if you actually go down there right now, though Aj-Kahet will be live by the time this video gets posted, before it boots you out, you can actually see the airship tangled up on there, so that is where we will start with Aj-Kahet. It's a long storyline. It's definitely on the longer side, but I really like it because I always like it when we get those moments to sit down with characters and check in. I really feel, especially with Anduin throughout this zone, that it was important to see where he's at. He's been through so much and so much action that I feel like we needed a lot of those moments to sit down with him and check in and just talk to him, and I'm very glad that we could do that. So that's it for Hallowfall. Next time I guess we'll tackle Aj-Kahet. I don't know what to expect from it, but we shall see. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.
Beledar, the Emperor's vision. It's the radiant song I hear.
Anduin is lost! I hated that. Okay. There's so, help. Okay. Hold on. Excuse me? Huh? I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to take this back from the start. Okay. What do you mean? What's happening? What's happening? Bro. I'll resub if Anduin dies? There's no way.